Welcome back, everyone. It's Michael Rosmer with Richucation. We're here today to talk about the 5 rules for investing to maximize your risk-weighted returns. Now, these rules, could you not follow them? Of course you could. Could you do better not following these rules? You could, but these are designed to maximize your risk-weighted returns. And that's just such a key point because risk weighting over the long term will pay itself off, all right? So you're going to have an extremely hard time breaking these rules and beating somebody who follows these rules over the long term. In the short term, who knows? But these rules in the long run are powerful, super powerful. And that's why I'm excited to share them with you. They're really a synthesis. I guess that's investing. Anyway. They're really a synthesis of a whole bunch of study that I did over the years and kind of different strategies. And as a result, what we see is there's a lot grouped under each of them, as you'll see as we delve into each one. But they're really, really designed to just make maximum effectiveness for you and really, really deliver. So I want you to have like a checklist every time you invest that you go through these. It's going to make things way better for you. You could very easily double your rates of return on a real basis by following these rules. All right? Rule number 1. Understand what you invest in. So basically, if you don't understand the thing that you're investing in, don't invest in it. Ever. Somebody comes to you and they say, oh, hey, we've got a great new fly fishing store. You don't understand how that works? Don't invest. Doesn't matter how much the guy is so great, how much he's your friend, how much he says it's going to rock it, how many dozens of other people tell you that you're going to do really well. There is no protection from ignorance, ever. Risk is fundamentally related to a lack of to ignorance. The more you understand, the better you can protect yourself from risk. And so understanding is the foundation for all of it. Now, once you understand, the next 3 come in, and then the 4th one is a whole other kettle of fish. So we'll talk about it in a minute. The second one is buy things that are increasing in value. Now, actually this really are going to. In value. Now, a few notes here. We're saying value, not price. Okay? Increase in value, price will follow value. If value is going to continue to increase, you're good to go. This is the number one thing you can do to decrease your risk in terms of investment, because what it means is if something is going up in value, then even if you buy it badly, you can wait. Okay? All kinds of stuff can happen, you can wait. So long as you can afford to hold, you're good. You're fantastic. You're in a good position. So buy things that are increasing in value. That's a tough one because it rules out a whole bunch of asset classes for people. People don't like it. Now, again, can you make money not doing this? Absolutely. A good example is currencies. Currencies don't ever fit this criteria. Currencies fundamentally are depreciating in value. You could, maybe catch some little, people do quite well on currencies, but wouldn't recommend you ever buy them. Number 3, buy for less than it's worth with a margin of safety. So, Ben Graham, who was Warren Buffett's mentor, once was famous for saying, when forced to sum up all of the investing wisdom, the best thing into 3 words, those 3 words would be margin of safety. Great insight. When you buy something for a lot less than it's worth, much easier to make better returns, much harder to lose money. The reason that this first number, the one about buying something that's going up in value, is before buy for less than it's worth, is because if you buy something that's fundamentally crumbling in value, then even if you bought for less than it's worth, you could still lose out. Whereas, if it's going up in value, you could buy and you just have to wait. All right? So, these are both important. You're going to follow all of these rules. But if you nail the first one in particular, you're like super solid. Second one is going to just monstrously capitalize or compound the value you're going to get. And then we have number 4. Number 4 is a risk-averse one. Okay? There's lots of reasons that people might not like it. But I've just seen so many people lose so much, and it's been one of the number one ways that I've been able to save people from losing money and help them to be way further ahead. And that is protect your downside. All right. Now, at first, these were the 4 rules I had, and a friend came to me and he was pitching me an investment. It was a medical private investment, and I said, "Hey, well, here's my rules." And he said, "Oh, those are great rules. That's why this is so good. It fits all these criteria." I looked at it and I thought, "Excuse me?" And that's where the 5th one comes in. And the 5th one is, don't get emotional. Because when you get emotional, it screws up your view of all the other ones. Emotions will screw you up. If you don't get emotional and you follow, then you can follow these, and if you follow them, you will do consistently, you'll do a great job on a consistent basis. You should, if you follow these consistently, you should beat the market. Not necessarily in any given year, but in the big picture, you should consistently beat the market, because the market sure as hell is not following these rules. So that gives you a little bit of an idea. We're going to delve into each of them individually, and you can understand. If you're interested in Don't Get Emotional, you can go and check out the book, What I Learned Losing $1 Million. There's some things that I don't particularly like in that book that they advocate. There's some rules that I think are destructive. They definitely aren't Warren Buffett-esque, but you know, there's still like some great insights, and it's a really cool story. If we're talking about buying things that are going to increase in value, Phil Fisher wrote some great books, so you can check them out. If you're looking at buying things for less than it's worth, Securities Analysis by Graham and Dodds is like the Bible on the subject. Protect your downside comes in a little bit in this securities analysis, but we're going to talk a lot about some other key ways that we can create that protection. Understanding what you're investing in, that's a whole other topic. We're going to talk about it in the next video. If you have any questions about investing, if you're interested in how to apply these to a particular investment, if you'd like to take a look at an investment and get some outside opinions on it, you're wanting to maximize your rate of return, join the action classes and come and talk to us. I'll give you a story briefly. Someone came to, it was a client in one of the companies that I was in. They wanted to do an investment. It was a relatively small amount of money, $150,000, that they were going to be lending onto a real estate development in another country. Fortunately, the person came to us and they said, "Hey, I'd like to put this together." We said, "Great, awesome, happy to help you with that." And we talked to the people involved who they were going to be investing with, and we said, "Yeah, it's no problem. We're going to need to figure out what the security is on this money." They said, "Oh, well, it's secured against this land." We said, "Oh, great, wonderful. So, what's the land worth?" They said, "Oh, it's worth like 3 times more than the investment." Whatever, they had some large number. I said, "Oh, okay, great. Well, just send us over the details of the comparables, etc., and it shouldn't be any problem then." Well, now they started to be like, "Well, it's hard to get comparables and things like this." These are all terms. I apologize if you don't follow these, but you will as you go through the learning process. Anyway, when we dug into it, the property they were getting security against in a fire sale situation was probably worth about $10,000. So they were protecting their $150,000 investment with a $10,000 security. So good chance of 100% loss. You would have ended up with a 10,000. I guess it would have been, a little less than 100% loss. Very, very high probability. So these are things that you don't know until you go through experiencing them. I've been through situations where I thought there was security and I didn't understand the difference. And as a result, there was 100% loss. I've been through some other ones where I thought, okay, we learned something, there's better security, and there's a 30% loss. Still better, right? Protected it, went from losing all of it to losing 30% of it, but still, big, big difference. So these are all things we want to pay attention to, we want to learn about. Best place for you to learn about that and to get, a fantastic community of people who are helping you all the time, direct coaching, ongoing, every week follow-up and feedback, as well as a whole pile of tools, etc., is the action classes. There's nothing better. So go and join. We'll look forward to seeing you on the next video.